Alright, hit the button. I'm going to do this video in a few pieces. Kind of a response video to Fred and Professor Anton. And yeah, the subject of videos versus books. And yeah, it's really not. They're all media, they're all ways of communicating, they're all entertainment. But yeah, they probably shouldn't be compared in any kind of. Let's try to make something out of this context. A lot of wind, but man, this weather is just, it's got to be like 75 degrees. I mean, just beautiful and such. Yeah, it's just, I wish I could take advantage of it. Still, all this stuff hanging over my head. Really irritating. Breezy. It blew my box open. Ugh. This tree scares the crap out of me. It's always making noise right above the head. Alright, so I'll cut this here and see you in a bit. This is going to make noise. Garbage, refuse can. So until next time. Oh, okay, I should be back. Look at that. It's just a spectacular day. Anyway, putting away the snow blower. Alright, I'm not going to do that yet. Scaring the cat. There's so much. Anyway, I try to find a good wind position. I didn't think I had any garbage out here. Yeah, I don't know what the good wind position is. I'm not looking in the sun's probably good. It's breezy. It's not really wind. It's just so nice. So where was I? Oh yeah, videos and books. Yeah, I just want to talk against books because no one's going to do that. But I think books suck actually. I've only read like mostly 90%, nonfiction, and books are good for that because yeah, you can go look for a math problem or an equation. They're a resource, so they're not only for reading or learning, they're resource books, they're dictionaries, they're encyclopedias, that kind of stuff, very useful. Indexed, indexing is good. And then the other side is, what was education? Education is basically having somebody do the theater of presenting it in some concise way. And so video can do that. It can give you this concise example. I'll show you how. I'll show you how to pick up a cat lid here, a can of cat food lid. You pick it up and you put it down here so you can get it later. And then you find one over here and you say, oh, I'll get those over here. See, this is how you clean up the yard. Yeah, I'm going to show people how to clean up the yard. That's really funny, isn't it? So if we find something to use as a garbage can, that already seems used. And then we'll put the refuse in the thing we have designated as a can for garbage. Here we go. Get rid of the water. And then there we go. Garbage can. Can as in barrel-like thing. There, now I've done a visual explanation. You can't misunderstand. See, that's the problem with the books. Books you can misunderstand. Books don't have, a lot of times the emphasis is lost. You're like, how hard somebody says something is missed. I mean, how many people quote people from different times in different books they wrote, and they're completely contrary quotes, because the context is lost and the guy doesn't have to sit there and say it. He's writing it. And then writing probably inhibits people from saying a lot of things because they're not caught in some live interaction. I mean, that's why politicians stage everything. Alright, another thing about books and videos, a difference is not only is there this performance thing, this demonstration thing, but it can be modified. So the book essentially evolves through this context of the conversation. So if something is said that implies something or whatever, that implication can be expounded upon and either confirmed or it can be explained how that's not the context of the meaning of the use of the word and all of that crap. So I mean, these videos are an evolving resource where books, you're kind of stuck with the story, and it's just not that useful. I guess the other difference is look, we're not in videos telling stories, so we're not like a lot of decent literature, let's say, literature that combines philosophy and that does the description of reality in some metaphoric way or analogous way or creative way, let's say, to illustrate, to exaggerate, to demonstrate. The stuff that's doing that, there's not that much of that in this context. Because you start to get into documentaries versus even just pieces of entertainment, short stories. And that hasn't really been exploited all the way yet in this medium. Just because of the logistics of it, it is all rather amateurish. People can't really afford to put the time in that is required for that kind of value to be added. But eventually this will be the place to go. I mean, there's pluses and minuses to what it does to conversation. Just as, the music industry no doubt was harmed to some extent as an industry that would be able to produce music by the fact that they couldn't control copyright as well as in the past. And so they couldn't exploit for the $1 billion kind of prize kind of thing. And so it sort of cuts out some of the incentive, and you end up with these amateurs doing this. And it's sort of like what's happening. I was supposed to kind of, talk radio still out there. Now it's still pretty popular, still gets a pretty good audience, but people are trapped in cars. And that's sort of this video medium in some respects, except this is the amateur version. This is the, I'm not getting paid to do this version. So yeah, I'm not going to, read up on some research. I'm not going to have a staff that does some work for me, writes me some jokes, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to, that's not going to happen. But, the medium will eventually evolve into something like that, I would imagine. And there's no reason why I can't find formats that work. Just messing around, I think I've come up with a few video formats that are sort of interesting to work with. The idea of talking to yourself is an interesting format. Lots of people make videos, clips, where they clip pieces of themselves in different contexts, have a conversation, a little play, let's say, a little one-person play staged over time to make an argument or a presentation. So it's a little mini book, a little mini argument or story. So yeah, I can see getting lost in a book like you get lost in a movie, but to argue that you get lost in a documentary is a lot harder to do. So let's understand what kind of literature people are talking about when they talk about books. Whether it is fiction or nonfiction, and how explicit it is in saying something, or whether it's saying something to you emotionally, because it's talking about the plastic in the ground, and it's a piece of plastic I found in the ground, and oh man, it connects you to the universe because it's arc-shaped. Yeah, maybe the universe is arc-shaped. So there you go. It's connected. We're all connected into the big power of the arc. Kind of bullshit. And there's so much of it. It's just that kind of crap that's just rubbing people in some sort of I need to feel self-important kind of way or some other kind of crap. I don't need to, try not to feel too small in this gigantic sea of shittery or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, and books are, in my opinion, they're archaic. The future medium might be a book in the sense that video is structured in a book kind of format, a progressive format, augmented with text, highlighted with chapters. So yeah, I can visualize that a future where you're combining the advantages of both. You want to hear more. That was like in that bug movie, Space Troopers or whatever it was. The commentator on the news kept saying, "Would you like to hear more?" You could click to hear more, that kind of thing. And so I think these technologies are all going to merge. But yeah, there's some real downside sitting out there in terms of the cotton candy. Give it to me too simple, too short, attention span kind of crap. And I'm totally not pleased with that phenomenon, because some of this stuff is complicated and it needs to be nuanced and nudged. And it's like all these people that want the simple solutions. They want to just label everything capitalist, communist. They just want to do this simple, you're either a bum or you're a hero kind of bullshit. And it's obviously more complicated than that. And doing anything constructive in our lives, in communicating ideas, is certainly more complicated than that. It's not just about making people feel good about living their life in a assertive, productive manner in the world. It's about the truth and appreciating the dilemma that is life, the many dilemmas that are life, the conflict, between being productive and being happy. These aren't things that are likely on the same life path. Anyway, I guess that's enough. I mean, I don't need to. This really is just so nice out here. You just want to just sit out here and say, man, it is so nice out here. But, that would sort of be a waste of my day. I'm just letting neighbors go to hell. I could sit in my nice chair here. Well, okay, they don't have to go to hell. I just wish they would, vacate my... I don't want neighbors to get in my way and such. Just can't just sit and make a video and such. And so forth. Yeah, see, this is a nice chair, nice location. I can get bothered by the cat. That's why I knew there was something wrong with it. Yeah, the cat can find me here. Yeah, it's got some sort of skin thing going on here. I don't know. I think it's just old man disease, but I don't know. I have to dip him in something, I guess. Yep, you almost had it, haven't you, old man, huh? You kind of used up? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Cat talk. Anyway, till next time and such and so forth. What? Yeah, say your last goodbyes to the people. Not your last. I mean, you'll be around a while. But anyway, yeah, that's all I got. I think that's enough. Yeah. All right.